guys, it's Jen here doing my challenge today for the Victoria Marie Facebook group. That's me saying hi. So this is a bit of an inspiration piece that I'm using just to get me going today for sort of the basics. So I'm just showing, cluster photos at the top, top and bottom. There is some sort of grounding strips and then a little sprinkling. That was what that little motion was with my hand, a little sprinkling of mist. So I just showing you in real time quickly at the beginning here what I'm using. So those are some Heidi Swapp mists. That's navy, butter, and gold. These are the two photos that I'm using. So they are both 3x4 and then put together on a 4x6 canvas in Photoshop. Those are bits that I pulled out from my July Citrus Twist kit. I was showing you, I cut out a camera from that paper. That's a really old Dear Lizzie paper that I bought a couple sheets of because I really like the cameras. And then these are the papers that I'm using, a lot of black and white and teal, and then a pop of yellow, which is what I was showing you. So here I'm getting back to my sped up. First thing I'm doing is just putting a really thin white mat on this photo, or photos, I guess I should say, just because I'm going to mat them on quite a few colors, and so I want to just make sure, that the photo really does pop. And I was just looking on my iPad there. I had done a little bit of pre-work on this, and I was just bringing up the photo that I took before I took it apart. So I'm using some black and white strips on the top and the bottom there, and I'm just inking everything. And I'm also really stuck at cutting off branding strips. So you're going to see me do this a couple of times where I haven't quite cut the branding strip off 100%. I'm not sure if that's me or if it's my trimmer. I have a Stampin' Up! Trimmer and I really like it, but I have never 100% gotten as good at using it, as accurate at it as I was with my Fiskars one. But my Fiskars one was not cutting straight because I found that the guide wasn't heavy duty enough. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Just keep with my Stampin' Up! One because I now need to buy new blades for it again, or what I'm going to do. But anyways, it's the age-old scrapbooking problem, right? Anyways, I am using that layout that I showed you as my inspiration, and so the strips on the top and the bottom, the cluster photos sort of to the left and near the top, things like that. But it is me, in my style. But also the whole point of this challenge today was finding your style. So one of the things that I did was I went through Pinterest and I went through things that already pinned, but other things as well. And what were the layouts that I really loved? What were the ones that got me excited? And then what I did is I actually created a separate board just called What's My Style, and I'm going to link so that everybody can have a look at it if they're interested. And then I went through that and I started writing down the things that I was consistently seeing. So I was sort of like, what are the things that I'm seeing on all these layouts? What are the similarities? And then I just found a layout then that sort of had all those similarities. So one of the things is mounting on white cardstock. I've been doing that a lot lately myself as well, but I like the white space that gives you, and it's like a blank canvas to work on. I used to mount on pattern paper consistently, like all the time, and I'm not doing that anymore, and my style will evolve again, I'm sure, but I really like using the white. Not to say that I'll do that every single layout, but I kind of have been doing that every single layout. The other thing that I noticed I liked a lot was a large prominent title. So you're going to see that on this one. I like color. I am not good at monochromatic. And when I looked at what I was picking, I wasn't picking monochromatic ones as my favorites either. I like color. So I like that white base, but then I like pops of color. So this one has lots of shades of blue and gray and black, sort of in that color family, but then I have this pop of yellow as well. And so that's something that I really like to do. I also really like rainbow, but that's not on this particular layout. This layout as well, I really liked using that multicolored blue. I believe that's a Chamel paper that is sort of like a photo corner in the bottom right and then on the top left of my photos where it's going to end up, to pull all those colors together. It has the white, it has the navy, it has the teal, it's got some black. If you look really close, there's sort of like some printing on it. It pulls that all together, and then that yellow is my pop of color that I quite like. And that, well, honestly, that teal in the background is also quite a good pop. What she hadn't done that I did is I mounted my photo also on some vellum, and that's a vellum with a little bit of a gold dot just to pull in a bit of gold because I like gold. And I've been seeing that happen. I've been seeing people do that quite a bit, where they use a larger piece and then they fold it over just to add some more dimension to their layouts. And so I like that quite a bit. And so I gave that a go. So let me get back to the layout here, because I was doing lots of layering, and so I felt like it was okay to be talking. I am going to stop the camera because I realized that my layering is too big. And I don't have enough room for the very large title that I wanted to go for. I don't have the white space that I was wanting in this layout. So I'm going to shop around some of these. I'm going to get a little bit frustrated in a second, and I'm going to turn the camera off. And all that you're going to miss, because I apologize, I just forgot to turn the camera back on again. I was actually going to walk away, and then I immediately knew what I needed to do. All I'm going to do is pull the layers out, and I'm going to make them all smaller. So that was me, and of course I was doing that in real time. It was me saying I just made all the layers smaller. That was what my hand gesture was. I swear I should have been Italian. I'm totally not Italian, but I talk with my hands. So all I did was I made all the layers smaller. So I just trimmed off bits off of each one and then put it all back together in essentially the same configuration. And there I was just putting some jute twine on that tag. I had originally pulled out navy, and it didn't look very good. So now you can see there I've got lots more room on the bottom to put my title in. I am now just shopping around the embellishments that I pulled out. So if you've watched my videos before, another thing that's sort of my style is I like to put one of the same thing in each of my clusters, and I tend to do 3 clusters, which totally speaks of my Chamel Glitter Girl training. I call it my training. I've taken tons of classes from her, and I like her style quite a bit. And there's me pulling it up because I'm just making that blue layer even smaller again. And trying to do it while it's stuck down makes it very uneven. So, let me think. What else was on my list for what is my style? And you're going to be able to see this in my post. And I'm also going to do a longer blog post about it, because this is something I've been thinking about for a while. White space, layering, color, large titles. I like to make sure that I have the story. I very rarely do a layout without putting the story on there. I always sign my layouts. It's probably not something that you know. I just put my initials JS on every layout, usually right at the end of the journaling. I almost always sprinkle with Heidi Shine, the Heidi Swap Color Mist. And I'm not sure why I turned the camera off there. Oh, I was looking for something. I wanted a bit of pop of blue, and I used those Heidi Swap vellum stickers in that teal blue. I just felt like it needed a little something right there. So now I'm getting down to my title. I've used that Sunshine vellum piece. Are you proud of me? If you've watched my videos before, you know sometimes I have trouble with those pieces, those see-through pieces. Much easier to use when you're using a white background. I used that very large gold ampersand. That was a chipboard piece. And then here I'm going through. What I had wanted was a large font in wood grain, because that little frame is a wood grain. However, all my wood grain fonts were too dark. So here I'm using these. I believe this font is called Index, and it was from the first Chamel collection, I believe. And I'm spelling out the word adventure. The other thing that I did too is I actually did a little bit of clustering inside that frame. So my frame is quite different from what was on the original inspiration piece, but she had a frame as well, and she had put some stuff inside of it, and I quite like that idea. Let me see here. So I'm sticking down. I've used chipboard pieces from the Poolside collection, die cuts from the Poolside collection. I cut out that camera that's in the frame, that Happy Happy stickers from Webster's Pages sticker sheet. The little pluses are also from the Poolside die cuts. I have Evalicious puffy stickers that came with the kit, and then I'm using these enamel dots out of my stash. I'm just finding navy yellow and a teal color to just dot a couple in each of these sections. And I'm gonna futz with these for a minute. Anything else that I used? Oh, I did stick down in the bottom there that branding strip that says the story of today. It was just on my desk, and I think I stuck it down when the camera was off because it had a little yellow heart, and I thought it would look good down there. I also put the ripped off piece of the vellum from my mat down at the bottom there as well, just as a little bit of extra layering. And then I'm going to do my journaling. So the journaling for this one says, this day we hiked up Mount Doug, but it could be any lovely spring or summer day. Nothing beats sun, air, a good trail, and an ocean view. Which is totally, totally true. We love to get out, we love the ocean, we like hiking. It's a good way to spend time with your kids and talk to them. They are trapped with you on a trail. So, yeah, but it's a good way to get time with your kids and get them talking. So, as we are approaching and hitting the teen years, that would be advice to anyone if you are having a hard time getting your kids to talk. This is a Dear Lizzie roller stamp. I just put the month and a little phrase on there that says all together. And I'm going to show you some really quick close-ups. Oh, I lied. I just decided I wanted to put some staples, so there's a little staple or staples in each spot. I'm deciding where I'm putting it right there. I'm going to put it on that Webster's Pages clip. Here's a couple close-ups. My photos are coming. Please play along with my challenge and try to think of 3 things that are your style and make a layout from them. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.